Hey guys, Coach Dave here with Honest Fit, going over an upper body mobility stretch. This one I call the lat opener. The lats are the big V muscles of the upper back, and often when the lats get tight, they can pull the shoulders forward and contribute to a hunched position. So for people who are working on posture, that can be useful for them. Also, because it's such an integral part of shoulder movement, some people will notice that if their lats are really tight, it can affect shoulder function. Often it affects shoulder function and can increase your risk of injury, especially with overhead pressing. What happens is as the lat gets really tight, you might not be able to get your arms as high as is natural, getting to a full extension at the shoulder. And to be honest, mine isn't excellent. It's good, but it's not perfect. But most people will notice that they'll get to here and then they'll arch to get their shoulders overhead. So you're either putting too much strain on the shoulder in this position, or you're sending the responsibility of that shoulder movement into the lower back and increasing your risk of lower back injury. So this stretch is great, especially if you're going to be doing any overhead lifting. This will improve that range of motion. So the way that we go through this, some people think of it as child's pose. Usually with child's pose in yoga, you want to sit on your heels. From my understanding, I'm not a yogi. The way I do this stretch, so start off in a tabletop position. Knees on a mat is helpful. Falls the feet into the floor. That's how I like this one. Walk your hands forward, a little over a foot, and together. They gotta be touching. I'm gonna keep the arms straight, sink the butt back and chest towards the floor. Now, some people might find that reaching even further might get more of a stretch. Find the spot that's right for you. For me, it's just about a foot and a half in front of my shoulders and then sinking to the floor. If your butt is all the way on your heels, I'd say definitely walk those hands forward and try to sink your chest towards the floor. There's three major areas that people tend to feel this. Hopefully we're getting some in the armpit lat area. You can also feel some discomfort in the upper back because we're forcing a extension of the thoracic spine. It's not a bad thing for most people. Actually, that sort of movement can help with posture and relieve some upper back pain as well. Sometimes people will feel pain in the backside of the shoulder. So try to stay away from that pain threshold if possible. Ironically, the tight lats could be part of the reason why you're feeling that. So use your best judgment as you're adjusting your tension on this stretch. You certainly don't want to be in a point where it's excruciating pain, and for the most part, I encourage my clients to find muscle discomfort but not joint pain. So through this movement, last detail on this, hands are forward, sinking your butt back, hold it for a couple breaths, 2 or 3 breaths, and then I like to come up out of that movement and practice trunk stability and planking. So I'm squeezing my glutes, pulling my abs in, rotating my shoulders down to pack the shoulder, and I'll just go back and forth. 10 repetitions, 2 or 3 breaths at the bottom. Get a good glute squeeze, ab squeeze, and shoulder packing at the top. Back and forth, 10 reps. It's a good dynamic warm-up for the upper body, and we're working on some of the important patterns. We've got a hip flexion, which could be helpful for squatting days, and at the top position, we're working on that plank. So, hope you like that stretch, one of my favorites. Keep watching Honest Fit, more coming your way.